Welcome back to Ms. Shortcut, your go-to channel for the real stories behind the world's most fascinating nations. Today, we set sail for the land of fjords, midnight sun, and fierce independence, Norway. From its fearsome Viking roots to becoming a global symbol of peace, prosperity, and equality, Norway's journey is nothing short of inspiring. What makes this small Scandinavian country rank among the happiest, wealthiest, and most democratic places on Earth? And how did it transition from a rugged land of warriors to a cradle of social justice? Let's find out, in just one shortcut. Viking beginnings. To understand Norway, we have to travel back over 1,000 years, to the era of the Vikings. Around 800 AD, Norwegians were not just farmers and fishermen, they were also skilled shipbuilders and fearless explorers. Viking longships reached as far as Iceland, Greenland, and even North America, centuries before Columbus. But contrary to their brutal reputation, Vikings were also traders, settlers, and seafarers. Norway's rugged terrain and limited arable land pushed its people to look outward. This adventurous spirit planted the seeds for what would later become Norway's outward-facing, globally connected society. By the late 11th century, the Viking Age came to a close, and Christianity took root. Norway was gradually unified under a single monarchy, marking the birth of the Norwegian kingdom. Controversies around Viking history. Over the years, some fringe theories have suggested a Turkic origin for the Vikings, pointing to alleged similarities in symbols, language, or warrior traditions. These ideas, though intriguing, are not supported by archaeological or genetic evidence. Mainstream historians consistently trace Viking roots to the Norse cultures of Scandinavia, distinctly Germanic and Indo-European in language, customs, and heritage. As fascinating as these alternative theories may be, it's important to separate historical facts from speculative fiction. Union, struggle, and independence. From the Middle Ages to the 19th century, Norway's political fate was often in the hands of its neighbors. In 1380, it entered into a union with Denmark, which lasted over 400 years. Known as the Dano-Norwegian Union, this period saw Norway's identity somewhat overshadowed by its more dominant partner. Then came the Napoleonic Wars. In 1814, after Denmark sided with Napoleon and lost, Norway was ceded to Sweden. But Norwegians weren't content. They declared independence, wrote their own constitution in Eidsvoll, one of the most liberal of its time, and briefly stood as a sovereign state before entering a looser union with Sweden. This union lasted until 1905, when Norway finally gained full independence, peacefully. No bloodshed, just a national referendum and a diplomatic split. It was a rare, graceful exit in a world of violent upheavals. World Wars and a new era. Norway remained neutral in World War I, but World War II was a different story. In 1940, Nazi Germany invaded, and Norway was occupied for 5 years. The resistance was fierce, and King Haakon VII became a symbol of national unity in exile. After liberation in 1945, Norway emerged determined never to be so vulnerable again. It joined NATO in 1949, taking a firm stance in the emerging Cold War. Yet, unlike some allies, Norway balanced its defense ties with a strong commitment to diplomacy, often acting as a mediator in global conflicts. The post-war years saw the rise of a mixed economy, a careful balance between capitalism and state involvement. But the true game-changer came in the 1960s. Oil and the birth of the Norwegian model. In 1969, Norway discovered oil in the North Sea. Suddenly, this quiet, mountainous country had black gold beneath its waters. But unlike many resource-rich nations that fell into corruption or inequality, Norway did something remarkable: it invested wisely. The government established Statoil, now Equinor, and took majority ownership of oil production. It didn't privatize everything or let foreign companies dominate. Revenues were managed with care, and in 1990, Norway created the Government Pension Fund Global, now the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, worth over $1.5 trillion. The profits were not used for quick wins or political gains. Instead, they were saved for future generations and used to strengthen Norway's welfare system, free education, universal healthcare, unemployment benefits, and generous parental leave. This became known as the Norwegian model. A unique blend of free markets, high taxes, strong labor unions, and cradle-to-grave social services. The goal? A society where no one is left behind. Norwegians often say, "We are all in the same boat." That sense of collective responsibility remains central to their national identity. Modern Norway. Today, Norway consistently ranks at the top of global indexes: quality of life, happiness, press freedom, gender equality, and sustainability. Oslo and Bergen are modern, multicultural cities, while the countryside retains its natural charm. Norway is also a pioneer in environmental policy. Despite being an oil producer, the country is aggressively pushing for green energy. Over 80% of its electricity comes from hydropower. Electric vehicles dominate the roads, thanks to subsidies, tax exemptions, and cultural awareness. Education is free. Universities are world-class. Public services are efficient. And thanks to the Wealth Fund, Norway has a financial cushion for generations. But it's not perfect. High living costs, housing market stress, and debates about immigration challenge the system. And while oil made Norway rich, the transition to a post-oil economy is now a pressing issue. Culturally, Norway punches above its weight. From the Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo to literature, design, and music, Norwegian voices echo worldwide. The country embraces both tradition and innovation, from Viking ships to space science. Norway's role in the world. Norway's influence goes beyond its size. It is a peace broker in global conflicts, from Colombia to the Middle East. It funds humanitarian work, promotes human rights, and often contributes more to UN causes than much larger nations. While it's not a member of the European Union, Norway is part of the European Economic Area. It benefits from open trade while maintaining sovereignty, particularly over its fisheries and oil. This semi-detached stance gives it flexibility and independence. Norway also excels in soft power. Its reputation as a fair, ethical, and responsible nation boosts its influence globally. Norwegian diplomacy is quiet but effective, grounded in trust. So how did Norway go from Viking longboats to world-class welfare and diplomacy? It's a story of resilience, wisdom, and long-term thinking. Norway didn't just strike oil, it struck balance. It embraced modernity without losing its soul. And it proved that wealth, when paired with empathy and good governance, can uplift everyone, not just the elite. In a world of inequality, unrest, and environmental uncertainty, Norway offers a model, not perfect, but profoundly hopeful. It's not just about being rich, it's about being fair. If you found Norway's journey inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Which country should we cover next on Ms.Shortcut? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, the shortest path to knowledge is just a shortcut away. In the next video we will talk about the Sweden. Think Sweden is just IKEA and ABBA? Think again. From empire building to social engineering, our next video uncovers the real story behind Scandinavia's quiet powerhouse. Ms.Shortcut, your shortcut to the smartest country stories.